Hello everybody, welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back here to do an episode, the first in the second series of episodes that we've done for ranking the album. So the first series we did ended a few weeks ago. We did 8 rounds, and then we did 2 semifinals, and then we did a finals. So now we're going to do this again. Another 8 rounds, another 2 semifinals, another finals. And for those of you who do not know what we're doing here, basically what we do is Ben, which is this friend of mine, a subscriber, he gives me 4 albums, and my job is to rank them according to how I like them. I could listen to them all, and I rank them according to how I like them. And the number 1 album, the album that finishes ranks number 1, will go on to the semifinals at the end of the 8 weeks. So he's given me 4 very good albums, I think. I think all these are unusually, I actually own 3 of the 4, which is very unusual for me. So what I'll do is I'll tell you what the 4 albums are first, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. And then I'll give you my rankings. So the 4 albums he gave me were Tales of the Topographical Ocean, this one, from Yes. The second one he gave me was Nude from Camel. Sorry, trying to get it so we're not getting so much of a blur. I guess I should have closed that window instead of opening it. Yeah, there, that's a good shot of it there, I think, mostly. I just can't quite get the Nude there. The third album that he gave me was Magician's Birthday from Uriah Heep. This one has a absolutely stunning cover. Actually, those first 3 all have really good stunning covers. And the fourth one, which I do not own, is called Force It from UFO. It has a stunning cover of a different nature. So these ones are all artistic, almost like fantasy. Like all 3 of them have a fantasy look. This one from Roger Dean. This one has that kind of fantasy look to it as well, as does this one, Musician's Dream. The other one has 2 people in a tub, and one of them's basically naked. So yeah, so kind of a different cover to it. So anyways, the UFO one I never owned. UFO is not a band that I've gotten into really. They do have some stuff that I quite like, and I don't know why. I just, when I'm out looking, I'm usually not looking for them, and that might change though, because this was a fairly good album. So how we're going to do this is I will give you a kind of a rundown of each album in the order from worst to first, fourth to first, worst to best, whatever you want to call it, in my ranking. So the one that came in 4th actually surprised me. I've owned this, and I listened to it a couple times. I didn't really like it because I think maybe I was comparing it to some of their other stuff, and I just found it a little bit wanting. The album cover is quite good. I found the vocals on this one are better than a lot of their stuff. It's a little bit more poppy. Well, first of all, I'll show you. So Nude is going to come in at number 4. A little bit poppier album than some of their other stuff. A little bit more toned down as far as the instrumentation goes. More straightforward, I guess, maybe a better term to use. Very clear, nice sounding album. Grew on me a little bit as I listened to it. It's probably like the 4th or 5th time I've listened to it since I bought it. It wasn't originally in my playlist. Usually if I don't want something initially in my playlist, I just put it on the shelf, and then, things like this happen, and that's what forces it into it. So it may go into the backup part for my playlist. I'm thinking about it again. Still pretty good album. I don't think it quite measures up to the debut or some of their other stuff, Mirage or anything like that, but I still think it's a pretty solid album. A little bit more commercial. I think that was a bit of the turnoff for me initially with it, but I'm getting past that a little bit, so not too bad. So comes number 4. The number 3 one This one is just a tiny hair bit. I like this just a tiny bit hair more than the, sorry, I got something in my eye here, than the Camel album. And that's Magician's Birthday by Uriah Heep. Of course, another excellent album cover. If we're going on album covers, this would be really very competitive. This one, I didn't initially like this at all. You know, I bought it thinking I would like it, and then I didn't really like it. I listened to it a couple times, put it on the shelf, which is what I normally do. If I don't like something, I put it on the shelf, go back to it later. Because I don't rank, my rankings are masterpiece 1, 2, 3. If they don't get the top 3 and the masterpiece, they just go back onto the shelf until they get another chance to make a hit at it. And nobody fails with me. Everybody passes. Maybe that's the communist part of me. I don't know. Anyways, upon listening to this album again today, I actually liked it a little bit more. Same as the Nude album. I didn't initially care as much for either of them, and I have grown a little bit to like both of them. So I don't think any of the albums on today's list are fantastic world beaters, but pretty strong. I would say that we're all strong twos, pretty much. So this album, lots of quite a bit of progressive stuff here, some hard stuff, but this isn't as hard as Salisbury or some of their new stuff, which I really love. But it's still a solid album. Just beats out Nude by about a hair, I'd say. The third album, of course, is this one, Tales of the Topographical Ocean. It's funny how the one that's going to win is the one I don't own. It's kind of strange that way. I wasn't planning that to happen. I thought it would be the worst of the 4, but it's turned out to be the one I like the most. But anyways, back to Tales of the Topographical Ocean. By art standards, it probably would win this fairly easy. This is one of the best looking albums. In this case, it's 2 CDs. Lots of nice artwork by Roger Dean here. I like some of the stuff on this. Some of it I don't care for as much. It's really, to me, this one and Relayer are the 2 most difficult Yes albums to listen to. Although Relayer I've had for 40 plus years. It's slowly moved up to be one of my favorite Yes albums. Even though it's a little bit jazz fusion-y, I still like it a lot. I'm hoping that this one won't wait 40 years to get up there, but you know, it's initially I had it in my playlist for a while and I listened to it quite a bit, and it's not too bad. I do like it. I just don't think it'll ever amount to being like one of my top 10 Yes albums, but you know, I've been wrong before and I'll likely be wrong again. But still good. There are aspects of this album I think are brilliant. Other aspects, a little bit meandering, a little bit too long. As many of you know, I like my albums around 40 minutes or so, 35 to 40 minutes, and this one definitely tops that by quite a bit. So for me, it's fighting an uphill battle. But still, I liked it enough to put it in second place today. Largely because I probably listened to this one quite a bit more than the previous 2, than the Camel or the Uriah Heep albums. But I find this one to be instrumentally very strong, but I just find it that lacks a little bit of that cohesion that you get from Close to the Edge and some of Yes's other stuff. But still, excellent album. I still like it quite a bit, but it's going to come in at number 2. So the number 1 album, of course, by process of elimination, is UFO's Force It. I did not anticipate myself liking this as much as I did. I think it won this contest fairly easily. I took to it fairly quickly. I liked a lot of the heavy stuff on it. The guitar was great. I thought the vocalist was really quite strong. I wasn't expecting that either. But I liked everything. Every aspect about it was better than I had originally thought it was going to be. I have listened to some UFO before, but they've never triggered any kind of desire to go out and start purchasing their stuff. But I do like this one enough, and since I already own those 3, it just makes sense, and this one beat them all, so this makes sense that this album should be included on that list. So I will be looking for this. I think it wins here. it'll go on to the next round. Very good album. Lots of heaviness to it. Lots of really good guitar stuff to it. Catchy hooks, catchy beats. Lots of stuff about it to like. And I think as I go through this tournament, I'll have to listen to it in the semifinals. I think it'll get a little bit more under my skin, I guess is the best way to put it. So anyways, there you have it for today's ranking the albums. And I'll just reiterate them in the order that they finished. So Force It by UFO will be number 1. Tales of the Topographical Ocean from Yes will be number 2. Magician's Birthday from Uriah Heep will be number 3. And last but not least, Nude from Camel. Yeah. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of ranking the songs. Ranking the albums. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. This will come out later. I've done a couple of videos today that I don't normally do because of the problems we had last week, which I explained in the what's new video I just did earlier, and it'll come out first. And I do apologize for all that. We'll try to get back on the beam here next week. If the internet cooperates, I guess we'll find out. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to your comments in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, and we will see you next week for Ranking the Albums Part 2. Bye.